Hi everyone, this is Zarko, and in this video we're going to be installing VS Code on Windows. So the first thing that you should do is open the link that I'll share at the top of the description of this YouTube video. So find that link, open it up, and you should see this page where you want to follow this downloads page link for VS Code. So click on that and it should take you to this page where you want to focus on this Windows part here. So you want to choose the user installer here, and you will likely choose this x64 option unless you know you need to choose something else like ARM64 in this case. But yeah, if you're not sure or if you don't know, just again, user installer and click on this small x64 button here, and that should start the installation process here. So after it's installed, you can click to open it up from your downloads folder, and it should start the installer. So I'm going to close this browser window from behind here. We don't need it anymore. And we can focus on the installation part, where the first step is to agree to the license terms. So you can read them here. And then if you accept them, you want to select this I accept the agreement checkbox and then click next here. Now for the installation location, you can choose the default option here that it gives to you, unless you have some other specific preference. And then you can click next again. For the start menu folder, you can leave this default one and then click next once more. And then for these additional options here, I like to choose to create a desktop icon so you can run VS Code from your desktop. And then also what I like to choose is this add open with VS Code for the file context menu and for the directory context menu as well. So that enables you, when you right click on your code file from the file explorer, you can have the option to open it with code immediately. Or if you right click on a folder, then you can open that folder as a project in VS Code. For example, a folder that contains your code files. For these two other options, leave them as selected here as well, and then you can click next. And now it's ready to install VS Code. You can finally click this install button here and then just wait until the installation process finishes. By the way, if anything changes by the time you're watching this video in the installation process and you're not sure about it, just leave the default option and just click next. That's the kind of the safest route there. Anyways, the setup has finished here. You can leave this launch Visual Studio Code checkbox so we can just start it after the installation process. If you chose to add icons, then you would see the VS Code icon here on your Windows wallpaper. But yeah, anyways, click finish and it will start VS Code here. We can full screen it, so double click on the top bar here. And yeah, you can check this welcome screen. You can go through these kind of steps and then you can customize VS Code to your liking. But yeah, that's basically it for the VS Code installation process. And yeah, from here I wanted to show you some basic usage of VS Code, like how to create a new project and how to kind of create some new files in that project as well. We're just going to do HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files quickly. But yeah, if you're working with any other programming languages, for example, then you would apply that same kind of procedure, but to whatever code files and code you do. So again, for the steps for the welcome screen, you can do them later if you want. But yeah, for opening up and creating a new project, you want to create on this file option on the top left here. And then click on this open folder option. So you can open a file directly, not as a project. If you want to quickly edit it, that's an option. But yeah, if you're working on a project, then you want to click this open folder option. That's, it makes it easier for you to manage a project with multiple files. So that's typically what I almost always use. So click on open folder here. And then if you don't have a project folder already created, you can just choose a location to create a new one. So I'll just pick desktop here for demonstration purposes. And then here in the empty space, you can right click and then select new and then select folder. And we can write something like test_project or whatever. You can choose your folder name here. Then you can click to select it, highlight it like this, and then click this select folder option here. Now, when you open a project folder in VS Code for the first time, it's going to ask, do you trust the authors of the files in this folder. So in this case, we have created the folder and we know it's safe, so we can click yes here. But if you're open some other person's project, and if you're not sure about it, then you want to be careful. You want to be 100% sure it's safe. If you're not, just click no here. But again, for your projects, you can click yes here. And then on the left sidebar here, you can see this test project being opened. Next to it, you can see options to create a new file within that project or a new subfolder also within that project. So let's say if you're hypothetically working with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, we can do some setup here. So click the new file option here, and it will ask you to create or to write the file name. So let's say we write index.html, and then you can press enter. And it should open it automatically. You can also kind of double click it here, and it should open a new tab for that file there. Then let's say we work maybe with some CSS. We can do like something like style.css, press enter. Then we can create a new file again. We can write something like app.js to create a JavaScript file again. If you're using some other programming languages, you'll know what to create for your specific programming language. So after we made this setup, what we can do here is we can go to the HTML file. You can type in the exclamation point and then press tab here. And that's a shortcut to create this boilerplate for VS Code. Here, you could add something like, let's say, an H1, so a heading element. So you type in H1, you press tab. It auto-completes these H1 tags. And in the middle of them, here you can write something like, I don't know, your name. Well, I'll just write Zarko's homepage. And that's basically it. From here, if you want to save the file changes, and this is important to remember, until you save the file changes, they won't show up when you preview the results of this file. And you can see if there are any unsaved changes by looking at the tab here where the file name is shown. If you see this kind of a white circle here, that means there are some unsaved changes and you need to save them. You go to File on the top left here. You then select this save option, or you can use the Control-S keyboard combination. I'll just click on it here, and then we can see that this white circle disappeared. It means everything is saved, so that's good. Again, you can also hold the Control key on your keyboard. As you hold that Control key, you can just press the letter S, and that will do the same save file operation there. Then if you're doing any front-end development, like I set up here, so CSS and JavaScript files, to connect the CSS file, you can write link here and then press tab, and then rel should be set to style sheet. href should be set to whatever your CSS file name is. So you can check here on the left. So mine is style.css. So I'm just making sure to write the exact same file name here. So match the capital or lowercase letters as well. So that will get it connected. And then for the JavaScript, typically it's still added at the bottom here. So you can write script and then press tab here. And then just go here in the opening tag, click on it, select or place the keyboard cursor, then press space, then write src equals, and then you can type these. If they don't appear automatically, you can type these double quotes. Between them, type your JavaScript file name. So again, you can check it from your project folder. So mine is app.js. So that was just kind of a quick reminder of how you can add a CSS and a JavaScript file to your HTML folder, and then don't forget to save it. So again, file save or Control+S on your keyboard. And then to preview the results of the HTML page that we just created, you can right-click on this HTML file here on the left, and then you can reveal it in File Explorer, and that shows it to you from the Windows File Explorer. You can then right-click on the index file, you can click Open With, and then choose your favorite browser, or if it's not showing up, you can click Choose Another App, and then find your browser there. I'll just click on Google Chrome, let's say here, and we can see Zarko's homepage is there. Let me just try to organize it better. So if you click and hold on this top bar here, and then you drag it at the top of your screen, you'll see these options to arrange your windows. So you have some different options. If you kind of hover over them as you hold the left click, you can choose how you want to align the window. I'll just put this browser window on the right here, and then it asks you to kind of choose what's on the left here. You can click on Visual Studio Code, or you could do the same thing. You can just click on the top bar here and then drag it, and then just choose to place it on the left there. This is pretty useful if you're developing. Then you can write your code on the left and then refresh the page and preview the results on the right. Also, you can kind of hover over this bar here if you want to make this smaller, to make more area for the code. You can do that as well. Now, one thing here, if you want to make some changes to the HTML file, let's say we, write P and then press tab to add a new paragraph, let's say some paragraph text. So again, you need to save the file changes. Again, you see the white circle indicating that there are unsaved file changes. So again, top left here, file save, or Control S on your keyboard. But you can see we saved the file changes, but they're not appearing on the right immediately. What you need to do is click the refresh button here. So you would need to do that every time you make some changes, or you might need to even do the Control-Shift-R keyboard combination to reload without cache. If the result is not showing up immediately, you might need to do that multiple times as well. And now the solution to make this process a bit more efficient is to install the live server extension for VS Code. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So in your VS Code window on the left here, you want to click on extensions. And then in this search box that will appear, you want to type in live server. As you see me type it here, it's one space, okay, but it doesn't make a difference. And you want to choose this result. It has over 60 million downloads. That's wow. Okay, so by Ritwik Day here, you want to click on that. You can see it here. Then you want to click this install button. It's going to ask you if you trust this publisher. So this is a well-known extension. So you can click trust here. If you're installing something that you're not sure about, then you might want to research it, check if it's safe, like check online. But yeah, if it's something reputable, then you can click trust here and wait for it to install. Okay, so it installed here. Then you can go back here on the left, click on this Explorer, the first icon here, to see your project files again. You can click back to your HTML file. And now to preview it, without having to refresh the browser window on each saved change, what you can do is right-click on the HTML file and then select this Open with Live Server option here. So you want to click on that, and it will ask you if you want to allow public and private networks to access the VS Code app. You can allow that, and we see that it has opened a second tab here in our browser. So the first one, again, that we already had opened before. As a reminder, it's the HTML file that we opened up directly. You can see it here in the address bar. So it's giving us the full location to the HTML file. But now the other tab, that live server, the extension opened up just now, you can see that it actually created this server with this address. So this is a local server, and then it's serving this index.html file from it. Now, the key feature here is if you make some changes, let's say we say Zarko makes some more changes, and then you go to File, Save, again, or Control S here. We can see as I saved it, it immediately refreshed the page and it shows the changes there. So really useful if you're doing front-end HTML, CSS, and JavaScript development. You don't have to manually refresh it every time. VS Code also has an option to auto-save the file as you edit it. You might want to use this, you might not. So you go to the top left menu, File, and then you can click on this auto-save option here. So then as you make changes, it's just going to, just automatically save them basically. You can just, when you click, you can see that it already applied it here in this combination. So again, you might want to use this auto-save option, but then if you're working with some code and you kind of change it, it's just going to save that new code. If you need to revert back, you won't have that old file. So be careful about that. You always can use the Control Z. So you click and hold Control and then press Z to undo changes. But yeah, that's just something to be careful about. I typically use this, but again, you need to be really careful. You can also go to File, or sorry, Edit, and then Undo to go back to undo the latest changes that you did. If you, for example, wrote something by mistake, you can use this multiple times, or you can redo the changes. So go back to your newer changes so you can kind of navigate through that as well. So for example, I clicked it and we can see that the last kind of text here disappeared. So that's how you can do it. But if you're not sure, I would recommend maybe not using the autosave feature. So you can just click on it here again to disable it there. And yeah, that's basically what I had planned for this video. If you found it useful, please take a second to like the video. It means a lot to me. And also subscribe to my channel to see more future content. Otherwise, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.